quick introduction about me. I, founded this Bootlabs like 3 years back. I think I come from a very, very tech background. Being a consultant, being a product, part of office of CTOs for certain companies. And then, we started Bootlabs like 3 years back. So pretty much I've been in the cloud, arena for the last more than a decade now, starting from when the Amazon was really, really kicking in, and how the, gradually the Azure has evolved, and then now with GCPs in all of the world. So that is where we, predominantly have our expertise on. So what we do in Bootlabs is basically, let's say if a customer wants to, set up or like have their entire digital transformation done, I think pretty much their first footprint has to be on something like a cloud, right? Because for them to be present across the world, the easiest route is to be on the cloud, right? So that is where we really partner with most of the organizations, where we build a real, capability for them into or like helping them adopt cloud in the right way, right? Because what happens is, with our experience in the last decade, what we have been seeing is these customers range from, startups to, the very established enterprises. But if you look at their entire digital transformation journey, it almost remains the same, where, initially they go all into the cloud and they just spend whatever it is to, get their product out, right? But then when they come into the mid space, they say that, hey, I don't have a control over it. I have a governance issues. I have this, I have that problem. So, what happens typically towards that mid-level, expansion or the growth strategy is where they look at figuring out how do I standardize this entire story, right? So now you're going to have another life cycle of standardization to be in place. And then a very advanced customers who, we generally work with, it could be big banks or, huge e-commerce players or anybody. They go into the point where, just help us out, reduce my entire cost, help me construct an entire FinOps life cycle for you, right? So this journey was never different for any of the organizations, right? So that is where we kind of, play a lot of role depending on the size that they are into. Let's say if they are in a startup ecosystem or somebody who wants to adopt cloud, we try to, give them an entire package where, when you onboard yourself there or adopt cloud, be it an engineering shop, even they're an engineering shop, they still have to have that, setup right on the cloud, right? So that is where we support them by giving them some kind of a platformization. So what we really work upon is, I think the DevOps and SREs of the world have evolved now. So now we really call them platform engineering, right? Because it's no more like, DevOps can solve the entire problems, SRE can solve the problem, but what is the thing is that now we have to give an empowerment back to the the developers itself. So that's where this platform engineering as a as a construct that is coming into every organization, right? So what it does is basically it tries to give a more of a self-service way, while ensuring your security perimeters are right, your costing is right, and your your SOC compliance is right, or let's say a specific regional compliance is right. So these are the biggest areas we really work with customers on. So if either we build a new platform engineering for them, or we have our own in-house product which is built by the name called as Sailor. It's a SaaS ready product right now, and we're launching it in or we are focusing on Indian market and the North American market right now. So which is going to either it'll give you an entire breadth of this problem statement to be solved within one solution, right? This is one type of a solution, right? The other is like a custom solution. Customers might say that I'm ready to spend on this engineering effort, but you build this entire thing internally, right? Because I might have a lot of customization that you may not be able to support. So let's build it from the scratch. So that's where we bring in our expertise to say that if you have to build one, you have to have all these constructs right, so that it can solve your problem, right? And then from a managed services angle, let's say if a customer is wanting to say that, hey, I don't have time for managing these cloud and all that, just bring in your expertise, manage my entire cloud, right? I'll focus on my business. You just take care of this, right? That's where we bring in a managed services. But the managed services also evolved, right? I mean, 5 to 10 years back, the managed services was typically like, okay, there was a monitor there. I will look at it and then say, hey, this is down, that is down. I think it has evolved a lot right now. So it has to be slightly more intelligent, where you need to bring in some kind of an expertise where you have to ensure the customer is told about your cost spiking, or let's say your security perimeters are not right? So it needs a little more sophisticated managed services. And that's where we play a lot of role. So this is in a nutshell what we do as a company.